We are back with Modes with Friends. I'm Sean Daniel.
I'm Ian Stich.
And we're having a hot debate because, as you know, there are 7 modes. Do you know what else there are 7 of?
I have a guess, Mr. Sean.
American Founding Fathers. So we're trying to find out which founding father is which mode.
Yeah.
And here's what we've come up with. I would love to hear your guys' comments on this.
Yeah, you can rearrange them for us.
Ionian, Major, Thomas Jefferson. Right?
Right.
Declaration of Independence. Constitution doesn't get much more Jefferson than the major scale.
America.
Dorian, John Adams.
John Adams.
Right? The ultimate badass. I think so. Dorian's kind of badass, solid, kind of takes a little bit outside, comes with it.
I got something in my eye. Sorry. You have to stop filming. I'm sorry. I can't even open my eye.
All right, we're back. John Adams, the ultimate badass. Dorian, right?
Yes.
I don't even think I need to explain that.
No.
Phrygian.
John Jay?
No, James Madison. Damn, Ian. Come on.
James
James Madison, kind of little, he's got the minor third, kind of his violent tendencies, I suppose. Now, the one
right.
I will not hear any debate on is Lydian for Benjamin Franklin. Obviously, the most playful of the founding fathers.
We totally agreed on that, like right away.
Exactly. It's got to be Benjamin Franklin. Mixed Lydian, 5. Alexander Hamilton. I think, right?
I think that's right.
Checkered past, flat 7. Otherwise, the major class, right?
Yeah.
A very musical mode.
Ah.
Very current, contemporary.
Yeah.
Aeolian.
Oh, yes, George Washington.
George Washington, born of dark times.
Right, you might not agree with that, but it's true.
But provided leadership.
Yes.
And what provides leadership more than the minor pentatonic, which is kind of based on the Aeolian scale, right?
Right, absolutely.
George Washington, minor. I don't mean that as an insult.
No,
some people
it's
might
strong.
Think,
it's the history.
Right?
Rock is formed on
Exactly.
on George Washington.
And then Locrian.
That's where I got it wrong.
John Jay. Whoever the F John Jay was, I don't know. But yeah, he's
in there, John Jay.
But we're going to talk a little bit about my man, John Adams, the Dorian
mode.
And specifically, how you can make a riff out of a mode. We're going to use the Dorian mode as an example.
We're going to use pieces of him.
Exactly. Pieces
of
John Adams and everything that he's left for us, right? So just a quick recap. We're going to do something in the key of G. So Dorian is the second mode, which means it happens on an A. So if we play the notes of G major starting on an A, we get an A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A. There we go.
Just like to point out that F sharp is what makes the A Dorian Dorian.
Right? So
that's the note.
It's the thing that makes it special, and that's how we like to talk about modes with friends. Yes. What makes this mode special?
What makes this moment
special? What makes John Adams special? It's his studiousness. It's his
F sharp.
And this is it. This F sharp in the key of G, right? So again, if we do it here, I'll do 2 octaves through, right? So if we start on 5, we go 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 9, 5, 7, 9, 5, 7, 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8. So, right, that one right there, that's the sound of Dorian.
Ooh, so good. By the way, you're so much better at naming frets than I am. I screw up all the time.
It's tough. It's like I went to this class when I was a kid, and I learned to count.
Oh,
and that's kind of how I think that's probably the difference between you and me.
Did you guys just feel that?
Yeah. Anyways, so all right, so we're gonna make a riff out of this Dorian thing. And the way modes are all about intervals, right? Spaces between things. So the interval that makes this important is a major 6, or you can think of it as a sharp 6 from the minor scale. How it's different from the minor scale.
I kind of like to think of the Dorian mode kind of like a minor scale with a happy ending, because the major 6.
And he is on an island with that one.
It's true. It has a major 6. Ends. Continue, Sean.
I think of it as minor with a sharp 6. But hey, potato. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Happy ending.
So we're gonna make a little riff out of this, right? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the root note, and I'm not gonna take this sharp 6.
Too close.
I'm gonna branch out. I'm gonna grab right there on the 7th fret of the B string, right? So I've got a pretty largely spaced interval.
Yes,
I don't want to grab this one. I'm going here to grab the F sharp, right? And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add this one note to the other intervals in the triad that comes from the Dorian mode, which is just a minor triad.
Right.
So I'm gonna have a 1, and then my Dorian note, and then I'm gonna go to a minor 3rd, which is the 3rd fret on the A string, which is a C. And I'm gonna grab that again, and then I'm gonna grab the 5th.
Ooh, yeah.
All right, so. And I'm just going back and forth. So you can think of this as a chord thing or a riff thing.
And that's honestly the sound of Dorian. I mean, literally playing the chord that it comes from, a 1 flat 3 and 5, and the special note, the major 6. I mean, that's like to the T. and you guys can rearrange this.
Yeah, and I guess my philosophy on riff making is just finding intervals that you like the sound of, whether you're thinking of it through modes, thinking of it through chords, and then combining them in just a rhythmic way.
Right.
So even though I'm not playing, I could easily play, like, so an A minor would be the triad. I could play A minor and then add that F sharp, and get an A minor 6 chord, right? And I could just kind of like, but I'm riffing it. So what I'm doing is I'm going to grab the A, then it's third, minor third, C, and then it's fifth, E, and I'm going to jump back and forth between that F sharp. And now I realize that this right here is kind of reach, like right here. That can be reach for some people, right? So
Short hands.
we're gonna move it into an open position where the open A is going to be here, and I'm going to jump to the second fret on the high E string. Same difference.
I just want to interject. This is such an important part of playing guitar. When you write a riff that your fingers can't handle, learning how to take it to a place where you can handle it.
Oh my gosh.
That's so important. There's so many times I've written riffs or even tried to figure out songs by ear, and I realize my hands are stretched, and then trying to find the notes. So like what Sean just did is a tactic and something that you have to do.
Exactly, and there'll probably be times when you're embarrassed at how easy that riff will be in a different spot. I do that all the time. I'm like a master of guitar and space and stretching, and then I do it in open position. It's like the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, and so like don't be all like, oh, I gotta play it impressively. Play where it's comfortable.
Yeah.
Like
so
that.
so basically, we're gonna do just open A and to 2 on the high E string, then to the 3, the C, and then I'm gonna kind of maybe change positions to get the 5, right? So 2D in here, and then back to the 3rd. So I've got open A, F sharp, C, F sharp, 2D, which is an E, F sharp, back to F sharp.
Yeah. And that is pure Dorian. And
This is my little riff.
Yeah, and since you're doing that, and since it's a mode with friends, I think I have to hop in at this point.
I think you gotta jump in.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna play a Dorian scale.
Dorian scale.
I mean, you're playing a riff made of the Dorian mode or Dorian intervals that are special to it. So in theory, the Dorian scale should work right on top. So
That's right, and we're not gonna change the chords. Eventually we'll add something different, but right now this is just gonna be what is essentially an A minor 6 chord moving around.
Right.
In a Dorian way.
Yes,
Okay?
designed from the Dorian mode. And I'm just gonna stick to that Dorian scale shape that you introduced earlier.
Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Cool.
There you go.
That was awesome.
Well, something good, right?
Yeah.
Now, if we stay on that forever, it could get a little stale.
A little stale.
So let's move it around a little bit.
How do we
But
do that?
what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep the thing that makes it special, and we're gonna do like kind of like a voice leading thing, where that F sharp is kind of what we're kind of hammering home on, right? That's our Dorian component
Yes.
to this riff.
Right.
So also known, so we're on the 2 chord. That whole progression was a 2.
Yep.
In the key of G, second note is
A
A,
minor.
A minor, A minor 6, whatever, that's a 2.
Yep.
We're gonna go from 2 to a 1. Right? Now, in past videos, we've kind of talked about avoiding the 1.
Yeah.
But the way we're gonna maintain the Dorian-ness of it,
On the nosy, Sean.
that's right,
good.
is by keeping that F sharp intact. Now, so a 6 in Dorian is the same as a 7 in 1.
It is.
Right?
Let's explain that. That was good.
Yeah. Okay. So
That's really good.
right? So if if Dorian is our tonic, if A is our tonic,
Yeah.
the 6th note away from A is going to be, if you move everything 1 note back, becomes 7 away from that, because we're moving the tonic back, but we're keeping the interval still.
Yes.
So if we have a 6 note space,
Yep.
we move this one back, we have a 7 note space.
Okay.
Right? Then if we go back again, we're just where we start. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this F sharp here, but I'm going to bring the G in, the tonic, right?
Yeah.
We're in the key of G, so I'm going to bring here, thus making a G major 7 chord.
Cool.
I'm not even thinking about it in chord progression terms. I'm thinking about it and trying to keep what I liked about that original riff intact. So
Yes.
I'll start with like the A to the C to the 5th, back to the 3rd, and then maybe to the G. And he's going to keep doing his Dorian thing.
I was doing Dorian
And that's
stuff.
why tonally,
It's gonna work.
center-wise, we're going to keep it
That's awesome.
Dorian flavor, right?
Want to try it out?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Sounded like John Adams making an historic trip.
Yeah, I could have sworn
through
he was
the
right there.
Northeast, right? That's exactly what it sounds
We were
like.
trying to resurrect him.
Yeah. So you can do this with any mode, right? We just
can.
picked Dorian because we haven't given him a lot of love to Dorian yet.
True.
There you go. You can do this with anything, right?
Kind of a tease. You can do it with anything.
There you go. So that was your little taste into John Adams.
Yeah,
So this is why you subscribe, people.
Right here.
Because you get a history lesson. You get
Yes.
a music lesson.
Yeah.
You hang out with this guy.
And that guy.
Delicious piece of eye candy right here.
You need glasses, bro.
With serious video editing skills, etc.
Yeah.
And if you haven't already, subscribe over to this guy's channel.
The Stich method.
I will link you below.
You will.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.